Hello YouTubers, welcome back to GQ Auto Diagnostics and Repair, where my job is to save you money. Today I will show you how to remove and replace the spark plugs on a 2014 Nissan Frontier. It's a 4-cylinder, it's a 2.5 automatic pickup truck, 112,000 miles. And it's time to do a spark plug replacement. So this procedure usually is pretty straightforward. However, on this vehicle, the intake manifold goes right on top of the spark plug. The ignition coils, at least, is gonna cover two. Okay, but this have to be removed, all this part here, to have access to it. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do. First of all, you can remove the filter, okay? But what we're gonna do really quick, I'm gonna put it back there, because what I wanna do, I wanna use the air blower to remove any of the extra dust. That way alright, so we got this done. So let's begin with this. First of all, we're gonna remove the air filter so we can check it, right? So I'm gonna remove the whole thing, and this air filter seems to be fairly new. You can see it right here, so we're gonna leave it alone. We don't need to recommend anything. Perfect. Let's put it out of the way. Next, we are going to disconnect the master flow sensor right here. Squeeze and pull. All right. So we're gonna use this needle nose pliers. So we're gonna go here behind. We're gonna squeeze and push in. So that's that. So we're gonna do the same thing here. I believe this is your I can't see exactly what it is, so I'm not gonna make something up. 1, 2. Now this comes apart. The next thing is to have a little bit more room if I have to work here. I'm gonna remove 1, 2 10mm. I think that will give me access to this. So 1, 2. There you go. Perfect. Those two bolts here, they're equally in length, so not have to worry about it. Now here we have 5/16, or you can use a flathead screwdriver. Let's see here. what I did here, I pull, loosen it up, remove, pull. Okay, we can do the same thing here. So that way we can just see better, have less things in the middle. And this happens sometimes. Those hoses get very brittle. They get broken very easily. Yep, see? Happens. I'm gonna remove throttle body. It's a 5/16 millimeter or 8 or 8/6 5/16 or 8 millimeter. Sorry about that. Now here underneath we have a 12 millimeter bolt that we need to remove. Let's see if I can get this ready. Next we have to disconnect from the manifold the vacuum hose for the booster. Okay. Here, it's always a good practice when you're dealing with hoses and a manifold, intake manifold that is made by plastic. Okay, so before you start pulling, remove the clamp and with the pliers twist, so that way you can break loose the hose from the intake, because sometimes if you pull it, if the intake is too brittle, it will break. So then you have to fix the intake or replace it, and that's an extra expense that nobody wants. Okay, so just remember that. Be careful. Okay, I'm gonna remove this one out right here. Alright, YouTubers, so this is what it was. There are two 12mm nuts. One go on the outside, the other one both goes on the outside. So you're gonna need to use a mirror to find where the bolt is. So there are total 2 nuts and 3 bolts. This one goes right in the middle, and that one in the middle goes a little, instead of going straight, it's a little bit an angle. So make sure you have a good socket so there's no worn out, so that way you can just break it loose. Okay, so I didn't have an area to put my camera so you guys can see me, but it's fairly easy. Just the idea, just do it. To be able to see it with a mirror, you can do it. The next thing you can do here, this bolt here on the bottom, right here on this bracket, to bring support to the intake, so that way this area doesn't rattle and eventually break. It's a short 12mm bolt. So you want to move it, break it loose, because this part, the bracket, sometimes gets stuck to the plastic here, to the rubber, okay, dampener. So that stays there. Now you wiggle and it pushes towards the passenger side. Okay, let me see if I can keep my camera there. Let's connect this. Now this wire harness that I didn't know early what it was, it goes to the injector. So that's what it was. Go to the injectors, and what we're gonna do here, we are going to remove this cover, which goes into the fuel line. You will see it in a minute. We're gonna disconnect it to be able to remove the whole. Oh no, we don't need to. Never mind. See, sometimes it's just better just to be patient. Now everything else here on the top is exposed now. However, you do gonna need to replace the intake manifold gasket. Okay, get that gasket, clean that area, because you don't want any vacuum leaks. Remember that. Okay, that gasket needs to be replaced. Now here's pretty straightforward. It should be. Let me take that back. Okay, so here on the connector, you're gonna press it and pull away. Press it, pull away. Press it, pull away. Press it, pull away. Okay, and that was the reason I was using some compressor here. So there's no any foreign object or dirt when I remove. When I remove the spark plug, he actually goes in, so minimize any potential foreign material. Okay, so 10 millimeter. Now that one, I can't. All four are going to be the same length, so you don't have to worry about this. Now, a couple of things that you want to pay attention to here. When you remove the coils, you do one at a time. You don't have to mark them, okay? Some people, when they remove all, they put 1, 2, 3, and 4. You don't have to do that. You only do that when you try to identify which one is bad. So you try to swap coil to see if the misfire follow that coil, then you mark it. But right here, you don't have to. Other way, they will come marked from the factory, which they're not. Someone, however, click disclaimer, they ask you which one it is. Okay, but that's very rare anyhow, regardless. I believe this vehicle uses a 14 millimeter spark plug socket. Okay, so let's find out if I'm right. Yep. So if you try to use the regular 9/16, no 5/8, I'm sorry, 5/8, you are going to have a problem. It's not going to work. It's a good time. NGK, original equipment. So now, quick, I will always recommend to install original equipment. Okay, I'm not getting a sponsor by NGK. These are the spark plugs that I'm using. Every time in each new vehicle, I always put original equipment, spark plugs. Other way, more time than not, you will have a misfire if you don't do it right. Okay, so the sample length, kind of spark plug. Now here, you always want to make sure when you take it out of the box, you look at it and make sure the electrode, it hasn't been hit. Okay, sometimes somebody can drop the spark plug. Look at it, make sure the porcelain is not cracked, so that way you can catch something before you put something and that is not good or damaged. Because sometimes this cannot be there. Somebody could have returned the spark plug and they just grab and put it back, give it back to me, and this got damaged. And guess what? I'm gonna put all my everything back, and I'm gonna end up with a misfire. So be aware of those things. Tight and a little more. Now I'm not going to tell you how many pounds you're going torque head. Assume that you can replace the spark plug, so there you go. So one is ready. Let's put this one there. Now let's go to the next one. So remember, always start one at a time and just keep going one at a time. Make sure you keep your ratchet and your extension straight. Don't let it twist, because sometimes you can break the spark plug, and you don't want a piece of material or the spark plug goes inside the cylinder when you pull the spark plug off. Okay, so be extra careful always. Okay, perfect. New one. It's a good one. Straight, and always make sure the spark plug is dry by, you tighten it by hand first before you start to put on your force with the ratchet. Alright guys, so next, and you get the idea from this point on how to do it. So keep straight. Okay. Alright guys, so I already cleaned that area there. I grabbed a rag, put a little bit of the brake cleaner, and I went and cleaned the surface. Now here you can see the gaskets. Okay, so we have to make sure we pay attention that nothing goes into the intake. Alright, but here we're gonna pull this gasket and it comes right out. Okay, so make sure you put a new gasket. Some people might, put some silicone on it, but why risk it? If you can just get the gasket, replace it, get it done right the first time, and you don't have to redo it later on. Okay, so just remember that. Do it right. And this is the part number that I'm using. Okay, so Felpro. I'm not getting a sponsor by Felpro. This is what I'm using. Just like that. There are 4. Quick example here, right? Look at the thickness. Some people might say that doesn't matter, it's the same. It's a little bit already it's thinner. Okay, so it's a little extra. That's what's gonna make the difference. Seal. Just keep that in mind. This one goes anyway in the direction. There you go. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Now here you can see how much the stick out. It's all the way in, so that way you have more to compress and actually seal it right. All right, so I'm gonna pause the video for a second so I can get the camera in place, so I can start putting everything back. I'll try to show you as much as I can. This is a different coil for different vehicle, but when you remove the coil and if you see that you have some oil here, you want to make sure you recommend a valve cover gasket. The tube seals are starting to leak, and eventually that oil is going to get into the spark plug. It's going to cause a misfire. So if you see that, always pay attention to this area. If it's nice and dry, not have to worry about it, and you should be good. So that one as a side note right there. Okay, so here, now we're gonna grab this. Be very careful. I'm gonna put it there. That dust is from the top of the whatever's accumulated there. Nothing that is got inside. Okay, so that's what I want to do. Bring this here. Oh, give me a second. Okay, I almost. Okay. Now that we got those gaskets there, make sure that we get the coils all connected. Okay. Need to put one more bolt here, tighten them up. Yeah, all tight. Just double check. Perfect. Okay, all the coils are nice and plugged. That part we don't have to worry about it. Next, we grab the intake. I'm gonna come around, and we gotta line up line those studs. Got one in each end, so it's gonna line up with the hole right there, so that way we can slide it. Okay, and we should be good to go. So the gasket, I can see that the gasket stays there nicely. 1, 2. Now, boom, we're done. That part. Now, if you want to be extra secure, what you can do right here, you can see the stud and put one of the nuts there, so that with this it doesn't move back. And guess what? And you run the risk to the one of your gasket, it comes out of place, and you create a vacuum leak. So here on this side, you can actually feel the thread. Okay, that's nice there. So this intake is not going anywhere. Okay, the next step is going to be here to install this bracket here. Okay, and we're going to just snug it. We're not gonna tight it, because we need to make sure that everything is good to go. Other way, we can tie this, and sometimes the intake can rise a little bit, and it's hard to put the bolt back on, and you're wasting a lot of time. So just take my word for it. Don't do it. Just do it like this. You will save yourself plenty of time. Always start everything by hand. Don't use any impact, nothing like that. Okay, so that's still loose. Here's the other bolt. It goes right here because it's a little longer, and so far we're doing good. Okay, now before we go any further, two things. Yes, in case. It's always a good practice. Put something there. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop the camera because I gotta put these 3 bolts here and tie that intake, and I can't hold the camera and do that part while I'm filming, so I do apologize for that. But anyhow, I promise you, you got this. Okay, you got this. You know what? Let me. The only thing it's gonna do here is gonna make the video longer if I do it like this. Okay, that one I can feel right there, the area where the bolt goes. Okay. That's that one. So remember, this one, the black one, goes right on the middle. Okay, this one's started by hand, and the last one, this here on the middle, and it's a little bit on, not quite straight, but we'll make it work. There it is. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, it's there. Okay. 12mm. You want to start right from the center and work your way. To the outside. So that's the center. Alright, so air filter housing is back on. The bracket here that we talk about, let's see, right here behind, it's a 12mm bolt, another 12mm bolt behind here, You gotta tight those 5/16s, the 4 bolts, plug it back on, reinstall the power booster hose that goes right there, install the evap hose, connect. Pretty much what you saw me do it on the video, just on the reverse order. Okay, so the fuel line we did disconnected, injectors are plugged in, master flow sensor plug in. Now I need to just get this hose, get another hose for that, and that will be it. We can put the air filter here, get it running. So I will resume the video in a minute. Alright guys, so everything is back on the vehicle. This is the hose that we added. Everything is connected. Everything is back where it belongs. This goes there, this is tight. Now here, when you remove this, I forgot to mention, you twist it and you pull. It's a self-lock mechanism. Alright, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna start the vehicle, make sure that it starts right up, no misfire, and we can just call this a fix. You know what, let's do something. Let's work on this. Let's start it. Nice and smooth. No noise. I mean, no engine light, no misfire. Start right up. Excellent. Alright guys, so this is how you replace the spark plugs and intake manifold gasket on a 2014 Nissan Frontier 4-cylinder 2.5 automatic 2-wheel drive. So if you found value in this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments down below. And now, if you were able to fix the vehicle and you feel like, hey, we save you some money, GQ Auto Diagnostics and Repair, feel free to donate. Everything that is being donated to the channel is going to buy a little bit more tools, cameras, so we can get better videos for you guys and try to educate people along the way, because that's the main purpose of the channel. Just educate people and help them to save money, fix their vehicles right the first time, and learn, pass it along. Once again, thank you for watching. As usual, do your best, forget the rest. God bless, and I will see you in the next video. Later.